day, another vlog. We're still indoors. It's crazy, crazy. This is World War III. Welcome to the end of the world, just like Professor Jung says. But anyways, I have a lot of work today because the past week I've been so mentally exhausted. I just don't want to do anything. So I've been barely paying attention in lectures. I have a lot of work to do. A lot of it is due today. So I gotta get working, stop procrastinating. And I've fixed my to-do list and I want to show you guys how I make my to-do list because I found something and it's called the Eisenhower matrix. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. But anyways, it's about splitting your page into 4 sections, and you have urgent, not urgent, important, not important, and basically you put all your tasks as in priority. So what things are urgent and have to do quickly, what things you can are important but perhaps you can start doing at a later time. Some things, for example, this one would be not urgent and not important, and these would be tasks that you leave till the end because they're irrelevant. It's just like a really good way instead of just having a long to-do list, and it makes you feel like you're productive ticking out 2 things when you have 15, and it's just inefficient. But this, when I have a lot of things to complete, is the way to go.
ذلك جاء الحق فقال يا أيها الذين آمنوا استعينوا بالصبر والصلاة إن الله مع الصابرين. قلنا إن كل نداء يصدر بيا أيها الذين آمنوا معناه أن الله يخاطب من آمن به ليتلقى عنه التكليف الذي هو فرع الإيمان. لم يقتحم الله على أحد حركته ليكلفه، وإنما كلف من آمن به. فلم يأتي ليقول يا أيها الناس افعلوا كذا، قال يا أيها الناس اتجهوا إلى الله آمنوا به. فحين يخاطب الناس يطلب منهم أن يؤمنوا، وحين يخاطب المؤمنين يطلب منهم أن يعملوا على مقتضى الإيمان. إذن فالتكليفات حيثيتها يا أيها الذين آمنوا استعينوا. معنى الاستعانة أن أمرا في حركة حياتك فاق عن طاقتك وقدرتك، وإلا لو أن كل أمر دخل في مقدورك لما طلبت معونة. متى تطلب المعونة؟ عند عدم القدرة. يبقى لابد أن يوجد لك فعل يستوعب قدرتك. فإذا ما جاء فعل يفوق على قدرتك ماذا تصنع؟ استعن بالقادر الذي لا تنفذ قوته. إذن فهذه الآية لا تيئس إنسانا من حركة في الحياة، لا تيئس إنسانا من حركة في الحياة، وأن يقبل على الأشياء مستعينا بمن خلق الأشياء. ولا تستعين إلا إذا كنت به مؤمنا، فلا تكون مؤمنا به وتستعين. يبقى استعينوا بالصبر. كلمة استعينوا دلت على أن هناك أحداث ستأتي لتجهد الطاقة البشرية، وكلمة بالصبر يدل على أن هذه الأشياء فيها إيلام وفيها إيه؟ فيها مشقة. كأنه يعد النفس المؤمنة لعملية جهادية كبيرة ستستنفذ طاقة الإنسان، وتتطلب المشقة فيها أن يصبر الإنسان على ما يلاقيه.
ولئن سألتهم من خلق السماوات والأرض ليقولن خلقهن العزيز العليم الذي جعل لكم الأرض مهدا وجعل لكم فيها سبلا لعلكم تهتدون والذي نزل من السماء ماء بقدر فأنشرنا به بلدة ميتا كذلك تخرجون والذي خلق الأزواج كلها وجعل لكم من الفلك والأنعام ما تركبون لتستووا على ظهوره ثم تذكروا نعمة ربكم إذا استويتم عليه وتقولوا سبحان الذي سخر لنا هذا وما كنا له مقرنين وإنا إلى ربنا لمنقلبون.
The time is 8:25 p.m. and I haven't done anything. Before iftar, I started actually working on my lectures and some stuff that I was behind on. But my course there's this one course, it's academic and communication skills. It's so confusing. I spent like 30 minutes just simply trying to figure out what the task was. So now that that's over, I thought, okay, after iftar, I'm gonna start working and actually completing the task. But then we gotta go out to get groceries, so come along with me.
Let's cross live to Al Jazeera's Victoria Gatenby, who's here in Doha. We've been hearing about attacks underway right now in both Bahrain and the United Arab Emirates. Victoria, what do we know about what's happening?
That's right. In the last few minutes, we have had reports of interceptions both in the UAE airspace and Bahrain. The UAE Ministry of Defence says in a statement that its air defences are now dealing with a missile threat. It warns people in that country to remain in a safe place and says the sounds heard in various parts of the country are the result of air defense systems intercepting ballistic missiles and fighter jets intercepting drones and other aerial vehicles. That comes off the back of a missile attack about 7 hours ago in Doha. That missile was intercepted. The threat level was raised for about half an hour. It's been lowered since that interception, and it has been quiet in Doha so far today, but clearly a great deal of concern about what's happening in the UAE and Bahrain at the moment.
Victoria, has there been any response from Gulf leaders to the statements that have been coming out from Iran's leadership today?
No statements off the back of Masoud Pezeshkian's statement earlier, in which he said that Iranian missiles and drones would no longer be targeting GCC countries. He apologized for those attacks over the past 8 days. We have had a statement from the foreign minister here in Doha. He's also the prime minister. He said, following a phone call with his Egyptian counterpart, that he stressed the need for an immediate halt to any escalatory actions, a return to the negotiating table, and efforts to contain the crisis in a way that preserves the security of the region. But he did not directly comment on the Iranian president's comments earlier today.
Al Jazeera's Victoria Gatenby reporting live.
This video I wanted to talk about something I've noticed, is that why is it all religious people, or most religious people, super chill? They aren't anxious. They seem so calm. How do they do that? Why is that? And I'll give you a simple example. If I had a wooden block and I put it on the floor and I asked you to walk across it, you'd find it pretty easy, just a walk in a park. But if I put that same plank between two skyscrapers, now your legs, your knees are wobbling, you're scared. Why is that? It's because now the consequences are higher. The results are disastrous if you fail. You cannot fail, which is why the task becomes harder, because there are higher consequences to failure. It's the same thing. Those religious people, their heart, it's attached to only Allah. They're not attached to anything. To them, all these worldly matters don't matter anything at all. They have no consequence. That's why they're not anxious. They don't have all these heart illnesses. They don't have depression. They're not anxious. But it's those people, on the other hand, who only see earthly matters and are not concerned with anything else, and they don't have any higher purpose or goal. Those are the people that are always anxious. So you always have to notice and you have to understand, what is your heart attached to? Are you attached to the simple earthly matters that don't matter at all? Or are you concerned and have a higher purpose? Okay, the time is literally 1:18 and I was adamant to get in some work done because literally I never had such an unproductive day. But finally I finished almost half a maths lecture that I have a quiz on next week. So finally, we have our ups, we have our downs. Some days you're really productive and some days you're just like, bleh. Today was one of those days, but at least I got something done. So I'll see you in the next vlog. Bye.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فسبحان الله حين تمسون وحين تصبحون وله الحمد في السماوات والأرض وعشيا وحين تظهرون يخرج الحي من الميت ويخرج الميت من الحي ويخرج الميت من الحي